Hey guys, Anthony here, and today I wanted to do a small video and a follow-up on my Rolad Mitsurugi series, and I wanted to just do a small showcase of the resistance to hand traps of your Rolad part of the engine versus common hand traps. So now I have like a series of hand traps in front of me. Most of these are hand traps that you would see in the main deck. I think the only one that's commonly ran in the main deck that I don't have here are the Dominus cards, the Impulse, and the Purge. But I think those two are make very little difference because I think they stop both. Those two belong to a category of hand traps that stop both of the plays that I'm trying to do, regardless of what combo you follow. So here I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate the regular Rollat Azamina combo where you bridge, you attempt to bridge from Rollat to Azamina with the regular combo where you go through the roulette plays, you add the demock, and then you go to a cross sheep and see how that fares against these common hand traps, and then we'll see how the line that I do, which is send mirror to add Habakiri does against these hand traps. So let's get the elephant out of the room. Ash Blossom, Impulse, and Purge will always stop it because it's always correct to stop for Ash Blossom and Purge in particular. It's always correct to stop the Mind Shuffle. So as long as your opponent ashes or purges your Mind Shuffle, there will be no play regardless of which combo you use. So those two cards will be in the pile where it stops both of the combos. So you can't play around this can trap. And the same thing with Impulse. Like if they impulse your whichever ritual spell you use, like no matter which card you dump off of your Skull Archfiend, if they just impulse the ritual spell, there is no way to play around that. So Impulse will also be in that category. But I'm pretty sure those three are the only cards that are going to be in the category where both of the combos cannot play around it. So let's start with these hand traps for the regular combo. So I'll go as far as one of these hand traps can stop the combo, and then I'll say this hand trap stops the regular combo, and then I'll continue and see at the end of the combo if the regular combo can beat any of these hand traps. So let's start. I'm gonna go ahead and activate the griffoh during the draw phase to go ahead and set the Mind Shuffle, activate Mind Shuffle, get Astra purged, game's over. Okay, activate the Mind Shuffle, add the Skull, send the Skull. We're gonna go Skull effects. We're gonna cost the dominant Light and Darkness Ritual, and we're gonna add the Chaos, and then we're gonna activate the Light and Darkness Ritual here. Here, our opponent will decide to hit this with the Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion to prevent us adding the ritual back to the hand. And now this combo does not beat this Ghost Spell, so we'll put this in the column where this combo does not beat. Now, let's assuming our opponent doesn't have Ghost Spell, we add these two back to our hand. We're gonna go ahead and normal summon the Griffoh. We're gonna go ahead and link summon this Griffoh into a copy of the Relinquished Anima to put it in the graveyard. Here is the Anima. And then we're going to go ahead and activate the Light and Darkness Ritual. And we're going to go ahead and here. If our opponent decides to hit our Griffoh in the graveyard with a Bestial, we would also have no plays. But even if they don't, even if they respect us, I think there's a time where this Bestial will hit us and we'll have no plays later on anyway. So we're going to assume that they let this go because they think that even if they hit this, we might have like another card in our hand or something. So we're going to go ahead and successfully ritual summon this out. And then this effect is going to activate, and we're going to go ahead and add this back to our hand. Now, we're going to go ahead and banish this for cost, and we're going to go ahead and link into a demod. Over here, assuming our opponent hits this demod with any of these, we do not get access to the Magician's Souls. And from this point onwards, I do not think we have combo. Let me go ahead and see what we can do if we don't get access to Magician's Souls. This can special summon itself. We don't have 3 spells. We can't go Celine. We only have 3 bodies. So even if we have a monster in hand, we can't go for Zena. I don't see where the 4th body would come from. And we already used our normal summon. Yes. And there's no dark to take with dark. So yeah. Comfortable to say there just is no way to play past this. We would just end on an SP pass, or we would end on like 3 bodies, try to make something with that. Okay. So now let's assume that our opponent does not have that. We get to search our Magician's Souls. We'll go ahead and activate our Magician's Souls, and we will dump the Diabellstar to the graveyard. And then from this point onwards, we go Magician's Souls effect, and we discard this card for cost to draw a card. And then we use these two to make a copy of the Cross Sheep. And then now we try to summon the Summon Skull. And from this point onwards, we're going to target this, this, and this. And if our opponent hits this with a Magnemut, so this does not summon itself, we have no combo. So the Magnemut also stops this combo. But let's say they don't have that. Let's say they summon here, and we get to shuffle these 3 back into our deck. What happens then when we activate this Cross Sheep, and they hit us with any one of these 3 following cards? They just hit the Cross Sheep, and in the case of Harmonia, they would also be able to bounce, let's say, the D-Mod back to the extra deck. We have used all of our extenders, and there is just no way to achieve combo from now on. So it appears that this line loses to every single commonly played hand trap in the entire deck. In the entire game, actually. There's not a single hand trap this combo beats. Okay. So after we discuss that, let's go towards the combo that I do and see how and why I do this combo and why we decide that the correct way to play this deck is to play this deck with the Mitsurugi cards. So we're going to do the exact same thing, and we're going to go ahead and draw phase. We're going to go ahead and set our Mind Shuffle in the back. We're going to activate Mind Shuffle during the draw phase, and this time we're going to go ahead and dump the Mitsurugi Mirror to get Habakiri. And obviously, they will never have Ash or Purge for this, because if they had Ash or Purge, our Mind Shuffle would have never resolved. So now we go Tribute Saji and Saji Effect to Search. Now, we're going to go ahead and summon from hand, and if they have Impulse here, we do stop. So, right in here, the 3 hand traps that I said before that stop this combo, Ash, Purge, Impulse, have all been used, and from now on, none of these hand traps here will stop my combo with just this one hand trap. We'll summon this from the hand, and then we will send the Kusanagi and the Aramasa. We'll go Chainlink 1 Kusanagi, Chainlink 2 Aramasa, Chain Block the Add back the Mitsurugi Ritual, and we will add Futsu to the hand. And now we'll go summon from the deck, tribute the Futsu from the hand, summon out the Murakumo from the deck, and now we can activate Futsu effect. And this is the first point where our opponent can hit us with Bell. If our opponent chooses to hit us with Bell at Futsu effect, not only will we tax them for an extra card, but then we also have our Scholar's Fiend in the graveyard. We can just summon the Scholar's Fiend, and then these 2 will become Ripperdokus. Ripperdokus will make this a Spellcaster, which means that we go into D-Mod for free, and then we get into the Diabellstar line. So this means that we not only play around the Bell for free, but we also get to full combo them through that and make them discard a card. So Bell on the Futsu will not do anything. And if they let us search the Futsu, we're going to search the Prayers. And what happens if they Bell the Prayers? We're going to go Prayers effect Tribute. If they Bell the Prayers, it's the exact same thing because Murakumo still gets to summon itself. So they can't Bell the Prayers. And if you let the Prayers go through, then Bell is officially useless from then on. There's no point where Bell will stop the combo at that point. So Bell is a hand trap that is dead in our combo. So let's go activate the Mitsurugi ritual. We're going to go ahead and search the second copy of Aramasa in our deck. Now this is in our hand, and then we're going to summon this Aramasa, and then on a new chain, we're going to go Chainlink 1 Habakiri, Chainlink 2 Mirror. Same thing, if they bell this, it doesn't do anything, because we just have too many bodies at that point. We're going to add this back to our hand, and then we're going to go activate, tribute, and summon out the Futsu. Oh, yeah, let me talk about Magnum What. So, if they choose to mag away the, like, any of these bodies, it's still too many bodies. Yes, you might lose the Murukumo, but even if you lose the Murukumo, like, at that point, if they wait till Murukumo to mag, you get a body off the Futsu, and you still full combo them anyway via Ripperdokus. So this mag doesn't do anything, and you end on way more than enough that your Murukumo most likely doesn't even matter. So I would say you would play past this mag for free as well. So this mag is just, this doesn't do anything either. So let's go summon this out, and then let's search this. And then now we get to the fun part, which is these 5 hand traps. And these 5 hand traps are going to be quickly proven why they don't do anything. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to normal summon this copy of Aramasa here, because we didn't use our normal summon. And then we're going to go ahead and use these 2. And we're going to go ahead and make Ripperdokus. And guess what? Now what can you do? If we activate Ripperdokus and you hit this with a Imperm or a Veiler, I have a Skull Archfiend in the graveyard to summon itself, and then this is just Zena on its own. And Zena bridges all of my archetypes. So your Imperm Veiler is effectively useless at this point, and there is no other point on the field where I can activate any effects before that. So this is the first point where you can actually even hit anything. And because at this point I already have way too many link material, these cards are useless. But now you might say, what happens if I hit you with a Ogre, or a Crackle, or God forbid a Harmonia on this card? So sure, they hit us with an Ogre on the Ripperdokus. We lose the Ripperdokus, but again, at this point, we still have our Skull Archfiend, right? And this is 4 bodies on the field. And it is way easier now to get into an actual play with 4 bodies on the field than with anything else. So for example, you can, like, before you summon the Skull Archfiend, you can go these 2 to make a Cross Sheep, and then summon the Skull Archfiend. You would be able to attempt to draw 2 and discard 2. And then if you had any other monster in your hand, God forbid, like no other are your starters, you can just go into a Zena, and Zena would just dump anything. So you would play through that. So obviously these just don't work. And worse than worse, if you decide to save the Murukumo on the board and not the Futsu, in this case, you would be able to rip their hand for 1 through the Ogre, and you would still just combo them anyway with Zena. So the Ogre just doesn't work either. But also, even if you had literally nothing else and your opponent ogred you, and let's say you kept the Murukumo and you ripped their hand for 1, you could still just go these 2 into an SP, and your opponent has 4 cards in their hand staring down Murukumo, Purification SP plus a Mind Shuffle that's live that's going to add the other ritual. So I would say for a 1-card combo, you played past 1 hand trap, ended on 3 interruptions, and still had 4 cards in your hand. I would say that's very, very successful. So let's talk about the other 2. So if our opponent hits us with Crackle or Harmonia, number 1, they cannot kill the Futsu with Harmonia, because I have an Aramasa on the field. If they decide to pop the Futsu with the Harmonia trigger, then Aramasa will tribute itself instead, and they'll get nowhere, because I get to revive Murukumo, blow up the Harmonia, and then also rip them for 1 later on, and I still full combo them. So Harmonia doesn't work, and if they Crackle, it's the same thing except they trigger Futsu. So Crackle is like an even worse Ghost Ogre in this case. It doesn't do anything. So, so these all get played through. Like for example, if you don't believe it, here, I'll go activate, they'll go Harmonia, and then they'll go send Malong, right? So now they have to pop the Ripperdokus, because they can't pop anything else, and then I'll go Chainlink 1 Futsu, Chainlink 2 Malong, Obviously, they'll bounce the Futsu. Sure. Summon Murukumo. Murukumo effect. Wipe the off the earth. So now what? It's a dark in the graveyard. Great. Now these two go into a dark. Dark take this. Summon the Skull Archfiend. Skull Archfiend, this plus that plus this. Link 5. Zena. Full combo. Great. I still have combo. So yeah. We full comboed through every single one of these hand traps with a 1-card Griffoh in a line that was supposedly losing to every other hand trap in the other combo. So that's why like I really dislike the regular version that aims to play through Rolad, because the Rolad combo itself, when you actually play Rolad, is way too weak. It doesn't get you anywhere, and if you play against the deck like Cool Tune, where they like run like multiples of these and they can see 2 to 3 of these in the same opening hand, like what are you even doing, right? Like there's like a reason why Rolad as Amina hasn't been very successful so far. Like it's only been successful after people got bored of Cool Tune. It's because like your engine matches up horribly into Cool Tune interruptions. And guess what? The only engine that matches up favorably and trades up into the Cool Tune hand traps is the Mitsurugi cards. If your Rolad cards aren't bridging into Mitsurugi cards, your Rolad cards are honestly god awful. Like I've never seen an engine with more bricks, less starters, more redundant starters, and like starters that lose to literally every hand trap in the game. It's like you normal summon like a Cool Tune Rico, like you go rotary reveal Rico and you play past 17 hand traps for free, right? And like and you normal summon Q and I have a Ghost Ogre, or I have a Harmonia, or I have a Crackle. I can't stop you with just that. But if I have like any of these and you do Griffoh or Black Chaos or anything, you lose the game. I know for a fact you lose the game. You need another starter. And guess what? What if your opening hand was Black Chaos plus Griffoh and you got like stopped by any of these? What does your Black Chaos do in this case? It doesn't do anything because you banished your Dmod to do the combo. There's no extension here. Like, God forbid I'm going to give you the Ragged Ritual Records of Rights. What are you going to do? Is there any extension there? There is no extension there. Because you already used all your extenders. It doesn't get you anywhere. That same scenario where you got Harmonia on your Cross Sheep, what does having these in your hand do for you? Great, you're running 3 of these, by the way. And 3 of these, and 3 of these. There's 9 of these in your deck. The chances that you open with 2 of these in your hand are really high. So what are we doing? Are you saying that you're just going to go combo into a Cross Sheep, get FTK'd on it by a Harmonia, and then pass? Right? So yeah. That is your daily dose of Rolad wisdom from the Sloth Sephora enjoyer himself. I've calmed down a lot from my previous video, and yeah. Let me know if you want more Rolad tips. Thank you very much.